You guys ready? Ready? Right. Monica, we're good. Welcome everybody to our city council meeting. The date's February 1st, 2022. The time is 7 p.m. I want to welcome everybody tonight on this cold night. Will you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance now? Ready, begin. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
Mayor Pro Tem Raul Garcia.
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And can we please remain standing for a moment of silence for our first responders and military members? Thank you. Monica, could we get a roll call, please?
Roll call. Councilmember Soto?
Present.
Councilmember Moran?
Present.
Councilmember King? Mayor Pro Tem Garcia?
Present.
He's present. Mayor Aguilar?
Present.
For the record, Councilmember King is not in attendance, but his absence is excused.
In regards to closed session announcements, we didn't have a closed session tonight. Council, any changes to the agenda? None. So we're going to move on to citizen comments. On this section, the agenda allows members of the public to address city council on any item not otherwise on the agenda. Members of the public, when recognized by myself, should come forward and identify themselves. Comments are normally limited to 3 minutes. For items which are on the agenda this evening, members of the public will be provided an opportunity to address the city council as each item is brought up for discussion. Do we have any citizen comments? Any citizen comments on the phone? Okay, we're going to move on to awards presentations and proclamations. We have two tonight. Very happy to recognize two individuals here in our list. The first one, we're going to go ahead and present our Fire Captain Brian Alvis with a recognition of his service to the city of Livingston. I'm going to just go ahead and read this real quick. We got you a nice little plaque. It says, the Livingston City Council would like to extend a warm and sincere congratulations to Fire Captain Brian Alvis for the many contributions and loyal service made to the Livingston community. Be it further resolved by the City Council of the City of Livingston that Fire Captain Brian Alvis is recognized and congratulated for his 5 years of dedication and service to the City of Livingston. So congratulations, Captain. We're going to have our fire captain just say a few words, and if the council wants to say a few words, and then we're going to do the other presentation, and then you guys could take pictures for the family. But first, before Captain, I just want to say once again, just as the plaque states, you know, we congratulate you on your move to a new station, but we're going to miss you. We appreciate everything you've done for the city of Livingston, all your hard work and dedication. So we want to really thank you. Captain, say a few words.
No, thank you guys very much. It's been a great 5 years. I learned a lot working with the council, the city manager, and working with the public. It's been great. I really appreciate it. It was really special to me, especially since I graduated from Livingston High, to be here for the last 5 years, to make some positive changes within the fire department, and to see our city grow and see the vision that our leaders have, and to see some of it come to fruition. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you, Fire Captain. Do you want to introduce your family real quick, Captain? Who's here tonight?
I'll start with my wife Erin. She's here, and my dad, Ron, my oldest son, Parker. Say hi, Parker. And then my 4-month-old, Ethan, he's hiding in there in the car seat.
Thank you, Captain. Once again, thank you so much for your years of service. For myself, as the mayor and previously as a council member, I really saw all the efforts you made. And also as one of your firefighters, I learned a lot from you and your leadership in the station. So thank you so much. Council, any other words?
Well, once again, I just wanted to say thank you for your service. It's a sad moment, but it's everything happens for a reason. And wish you the best, and hope to see you back soon. Livingston will miss you. I know that people out in the community know who you are, and you've always been there. And I know a few times when people had questions, I always direct them to the fire department, and always very helpful. So I really appreciate that, and best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Captain Elvis, thank you so much for your continued service. It's really amazing to see that we have Livingston alumni coming back to serve their own city. And it's something that we should be really proud that you continue to serve our community. You're not going to be too far away, and I know you're still saying purple and gold and not that other color, but
No.
There you go. Anyways, congratulations, and congratulations to your whole family. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Captain. Raul Garcia, you're on the phone. You want to say any few words?
Mayor Pro Tem, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to the captain for his service to the city of Livingston and dedication, and I wish you the best of luck in the next chapter. Thank you again.
Thank you, Raul.
Thank you. All right, Captain, we're going to do the other award, and then we'll take a little break. Our next presentation is for one of our Livingston High School students, Rhea Baines. I'm going to read your certificate real quick. This is City of Livingston Recognition Award presented to Rhea Baines in recognition for your continued community service in Livingston. The Livingston mayor, myself, the council, the city manager, and staff recognize you for your contribution to the community. She is the current and past last year's class president for the class of 2024. It was very important to me to recognize all your efforts you've been doing in the community. One of the events that that you had organized and worked towards was organizing a drive for toys and different things for Valley or Rainbow Valley foster care and those kids in need in regards to the foster care system. So, and many other things. And I really appreciate the example you're setting for your peers. And hopefully, you continue on with this service and giving back to the community. So we commend you as the council and myself, okay? So I'm going to give you a certificate. So we're going to have her just introduce herself.
Hi, my name is Rhea Baines. I am extremely honored to be receiving such an important award. I am earnestly grateful for this recognition I have received for my work. I would sincerely like to thank Livingston High School, Ms. Gonzalez, our Mayor Juan Aguilar for his help and support, my family, and each and every one of you for helping me reach a stage where I could proudly hold this award as a mark of my achievement. Last but not least, thank you, City of Livingston, for offering recognition to Livingston High School students like me. I hope this recognition of my work can serve as an inspiration to others. Thank you, everyone, and good night.
Council, any words?
Just want to say congratulations. I know that students in your age Sometimes they're not thinking about community service too much. They have a lot of other things on their minds, but it's great to see and understand that we still have a lot of kids out there that are community oriented, and hopefully this is only the beginning stage of much more work for you to do, not only here, but anywhere you go. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you for leading the way among the students for Livingston and at your high school and for our community, and especially being a woman leader out there. So continue with the work that you're doing, and I can say that we are definitely proud of you. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely proud of you, and I know you're going to be organizing another event in May, correct, with the same foster care agency, correct? So we look forward, if you have any flyers, shoot them our way so we can spread the word, okay? So congratulations. This time we're going to take a quick break, take a few pictures, and then we'll continue on. Thank you. Okay, we'll return back to our council meeting. We're going to move on to announcements and reports. Vanessa, any city staff announcements or reports tonight?
Yes, Mayor. We have announcements from our Public Works Department and our Fire Department.
Excellent, thank you.
Good evening, Tony Vina, City of Livingston Public Works Superintendent. Good evening, Mayor, Council, Vanessa. Just a quick little update on some of the projects that are ongoing through Public Works. First of all, we've had one of our wells, well number 12, that is over by the high school, that was down for the last 3 weeks or so. We have one of our contractors doing the airlifting, pressure washing. Should be done by sometime this week. Next week, Shannon Pump should be installing it back, and hopefully by the end of next week. If not then, the following week, that well should be back online. We have our alley project is still on hold due to the cold weather. Contractors are trying to wait. They are about 80%. There was a couple alleys that were left unpaved, and they're still, those are the ones they're waiting on for better weather. The solar project at our solar project here at the PD, Joseph Gallo and Max Foster. 2 of those are about 80% done, which is here at the PD and at the Max Foster Sports Park. The one that is barely starting this week and will, from what the contractor told me, this project here at the Joseph Gallo should be done hopefully by the end of the month, and they're really pushing for that date. We have made arrangements with the project being fenced off in certain areas. We've made arrangements for the walk path to stay intact. Just be aware that, especially to the public, be aware there is construction going on. We did put it on social media. Just be aware when they're still using the park to be cautious, because there's a lot of machinery, and we've even marked out the arrows to follow when you're in the area using that park. The sewer project is still moving forward. They're done with the main lines. They're just working on the home-to-home, and those are going to be a little time-consuming because they got to do one home at a time. So that one is still moving forward. The 2 light projects at Joseph Gallo and Max Foster were at a little standstill. We're having problems with metal. As soon as those metal posts come in, I've talked to the contractor. They'll be put up as soon as possible, and those will be used, be put into use right away. See, we have our Hammett and Walnut Avenue, where we had a water leak, and then right after the water leak, the COVID hit us bad, hit our department really, really bad. So sorry for the inconvenience to the public, but it was real hard to get people to help in there. We did get a contractor to help finish paving. As a matter of fact, that project is done and got paved today. Tomorrow, that roadway will be opened up. Park equipment at Lucero, and the park equipment at Lucero that was supposed to be by the end of December put in is also stalled because of factory problems at the facility that was supposed to bring it in. So a lot of these things are caused from shortage, manpower, and COVID. So in one way or another, it's not only affected, our community, but a lot of these projects, if it's not one thing, it's another. But it did cause us to step back on some of these projects due to the COVID. So that's pretty much what I have. Any questions?
Thank you. Council, any questions?
Can you give us a little bit, or give me a little bit more information about the water break, the water leak? Was that a main that was, I understand that it was a main?
Yes,
And
that was a 12-inch water main leak. There was a storm drain right next to it. We're not sure exactly why it occurred, but it did occur. And as soon as that happened, our staff was in there. They got it isolated, and then they were able to repair it the next week. And then after that is when our staff went down to, we were at half capacity, half manpower or less. So they did fix the water leak, and we put the water back in use, but the other part of it was where we contracted out, and the contractors finished today. So that will be opened up tomorrow.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions, council? Thank you so much. I know that's been a challenge with COVID, and I know your department was hit pretty bad, but we appreciate all the efforts you guys are making. We see you guys out there hustling and working hard, so thank you so much, okay?
Thank you.
And then we have our fire department, correct?
We have a presentation from our fire department.
Good evening, City Manager, Council, Mayor, and members of the public. First, I'd like to start off by introducing the new captain, Lester Gardner. We're going to split our last year's report, and he's going to lay out some ideas and some goals for the fire department for this year. So for last year's, oops, do you got the clicker over there? Or? So for last year's conclusion, Livingston Fire Department, for the first time, we ran over 2,000 calls. So here are the call breakdown for the city, within the city limits. We had 1,084 medical aids, and of which 19 of those were code blues. We had 15 vegetation fires, 63 vehicle accidents, 9 vehicle fires, 9 structure fires, 22 debris fires, 27 alarm soundings, 8 false alarms, 1 firefighter standby, 46 public assist, and 2 hazardous waste. And our calls in the county, we had 241 medical aids, 14 code blues, 83 veg fires, 290 vehicle accidents, 43 vehicle fires, 87 structure fires, 25 debris fires, 92 alarm soundings, 12 false alarms, 3 firefighter standbys, 20 public assist, and 1 hazmat call. So here's just a quick breakdown between 2021 and 2020. So last year we ran 2,249 calls. That's both within the city and the county limits versus 1968 in 2020. So we had 1,322 calls within the city, 927 calls within the county. Our PCF respond 57% of the time. That includes both responding to the incident and covering the station behind when we were out on an incident. 78% of our calls were within our IA, which includes the city limits and the county within our first initial response. And our call volume from last year was up a whopping 14.3% when we've been averaging about 5% a year. So we definitely had a big increase in calls last year. So here's just a breakdown on a graph showing what type of calls we ran. This was both in the county and the city limits for 2021. And here's the percentage of calls within the city limits and the county. So we ran, it's pretty much been pretty consistent, about 60% in the city and 40% in the county throughout the last 5 to 7 years. And here's our trend for calls from the last 5 years. So we went from 974 calls within the city limits to 1,322 calls within the city limits with the last 5 years. So for the last 5 years, we had 36% increase in growth in our calls. And as you guys know, COVID, we were kind of limited on what we could do with the public this year, but we did participate in a funeral service for a former PCF and he was a volunteer chief in a neighboring department for us within Merced County. The Run for Independence, we helped out with that in Outwater. That's for the 4th of July. Delhi Block Party. We took the truck out there and assisted with Delhi. And then Bates was kind enough to go to Yamamoto for a remembrance for the 20th anniversary for 9/11. And we were sent out to Type 6. I believe it was gone for almost 30 days on the Dixie Fire this year. So we were able to contribute that and actually have a little income to come back into our replacement fund for our equipment. And this year was the first year we got a new golf cart that we were able to use for our standby for our high school football. And I wanted to say thanks again to the council for approving that purchase. Quart of trees. And of course, it was limited on what schools we could go to this year because of COVID, but the schools that we could go to, we did the Santa visit and gave out candy canes to the kids. And then I'm gonna pass this off to your new fire captain, Lester, and he can explain his goals for 2022. Yeah, that's a big button.
All right. Thank you, Captain Alvis. Thank you, Council. My name is Lester Gardner. I'm happy to be the station captain here in Livingston. This is my first week without Captain Alvis, so I'm looking forward to working with everyone and working with the community. And like I said, thank you to Captain Alvis. He did give me a good tour of the thing. I hope to be as good as he was with everyone here in town. So before I get to the goals of 2022, we just finished January. The call volume, I didn't have a graph for the call volume, but we had 221 calls for the month of January and 146 in the city limits. If we average that out for the rest of the year, we're looking at about 1,700 calls. So hopefully we don't continue that upward progression because that'd be a drastic increase in calls for the city. Like I said, for 2022, our goals are a strong community relationship that we've already built within the city and the community. Staffing, increasing maybe the paid staff, and increasing our PCF staff. Upgrading our equipment and upgrading our facilities. So the way that we try to achieve our goals of community relationships is open communication with the city council, city staff, and the community. Our door is always open for anybody in the community that has a question, and we look forward to you guys visiting it. We attend all community events that's possible, dictating calls. We plan to attend the Sweet Potato Festival, the Kite Festival, 4th of July Festival, public outreach programs, public safety fairs, MDA Fill the Boots, Santa Claus, school demonstrations. I spent some time today at the high school with the RLP class. We brought down the rescue out of Los Banos, and we did a demonstration with the rescue and our engines there. All right, the current station staffing. The current station staffing in Livingston is one person for CAL FIRE, and currently we have 11 active PCFs. A few of those PCFs are on their way out. They're moving out of state, so we're gonna be back below 10 PCFs for the Livingston Volunteer Company. The number of paid staff in the Livingston is the same as it was when the city entered an agreement with the county in 1995. And you guys can see there off our graph there, the difference in calls in 17 years. And of course, we can see the difference in population. The population in 1995 was approximately 7,000, and then with the 2016 census, we're double that. Like I said, as the Livingston Fire Department, we're anticipating in excess of 2,400 calls for the year. And with current that, you're looking about 1,500 to 1,600 in a city if we're staying on the same city county calls. Station 96 is the busiest station in the county. Only station that's in the area that's probably as close to us would be the city of Atwater. Has one station that is right around the same as we are. Just for comparison, we have the Winton station there, which is the second busiest in the county, and they are 2-0 paid staff. and they are running just under 2,100 calls, 2064. One of the goals for the county, and I know it sounds like with the city council, is to achieve 2.0 staffing here in Livingston. Equipment. So the typical lifespan of first line equipment, so the first out equipment, which would be the city's truck and the city's Type 6 and the city's Type 2 engine, is approximately 20 years. The current equipment that we have is really good. I mean, we keep good maintenance on it, so we're able to extend that. But this equipment is getting to its lifespan. I know you guys have goals and plans to purchase new equipment, but we need to ensure that we're working towards that every day. Like you said, is the ladder truck that we have is a 1990 55-foot truck. Unfortunately, this truck is, like you said, it's met its life in age-wise, and it's really inadequate for 3-story apartment complexes. I know that the city council and the city staff is working with the developers that are having new subdivisions and long-term replacement plans and budgeting for a new fire engine. The facility, the current fire department facility was built in the 50s when the fire equipment was much smaller. For those who have seen our equipment bay, it's tight. Everything that we got in there, we're maximizing every ounce of space that we have. And over the last 60+ years, we've added on, scabbed on everything that we possibly can to get enough space for everything that we need. The facility is definitely usable, but it is in need of major repairs. And like I said, I know that the city has been looking for and trying to come up with an action to find a new facility. And then they've already announced for this year for one of the fundraisers for the pancake breakfast for the volunteers would be May 7th, 22. And then we'll just give a quick safety message. Now with it being cold, space heaters. Space heaters are one of the most dangerous things during the winter. They're very flammable. They have carbon monoxide. So we want to pass the message. If you have space heaters, make sure that they're properly plugged in, that they're properly stored, and they're properly vented. And that's the end of my report. Any questions?
Thank you so much for the report, both of you. We appreciate you guys going over the numbers. It gives us a better idea of the volume of calls and the type of work you guys are doing, so we appreciate that. Welcome to the City of Livingston. I look forward to working with you as the mayor of the City of Livingston, but also as one of your PCFs. So, Council, any other questions or clarifications right now?
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
And with the breakdown of the code blues, are you able to let us know how many of those were probably drug-related or?
No, we can't.
Okay, thank you.
It's a HIPAA violation.
Just another thing real quick. I know, obviously, you mentioned some of your goals for your stay here in our city. We have the same vision. We are aware that those are some highlights, concerns that we've been trying to work to address for some time now. As being part of the council, now the mayor, I see it firsthand that that's definitely a need, staffing, aged equipment, facility falling short of what we need. So I could tell you that I think, speaking from myself and the council, we're committed to addressing those concerns as a team and working together to make those accomplishments.
Thank you.
I just want to say thank you for your presentation. It was very nice. Especially, I love the last picture of it. That looks very nice.
Picture.
And welcome.
Thank you.
Looking forward to your frequent reports and keeping us updated on what's going on, and just also to keep the community informed as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
And just start stretching because we have a softball game coming up versus PD.
I heard that we never win. That was our time, right? Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Welcome.
it.
Mayor?
Oh, go ahead, Garcia. Mayor Pro Tem Garcia.
Yes, sir. I just want to say welcome to the Livingston, and thank you.
Thank you. Now we're going to go ahead and, there's no other city staff announcements, correct? Okay, we're going to move on to city manager announcements and reports.
No announcements tonight, Mayor.
Thank you. And then we're going to move on to city council member announcements and reports. Councilmember Jose Moran.
Thank you. No announcements, no report, other than I just wanted it to acknowledge and make people aware that I did have some residents bring to my attention that there was, they had questions about current use of our wastewater facilities, and I did inquire, and actually I thank you, Vanessa, for responding to my questions, well, some of the questions, but, so basically the questions were in regards to see if there were, how was that wastewater plant being used for recreational purposes, and because the question was if it was open to the public, which first of all, I didn't know that it was being used. And so I'm assuming that based on the response, it's not open to the public at the moment?
It is not a facility at the moment, so it is not open to the public. It was requested for a testing or pilot program, and that was a one-time use and one-time exploring.
Okay, so was that a one-time, one weekend, 1 month?
At the moment, they want to test out the site one time.
Okay, but, all right, so, because I will have further questions in regards to how that was, I was assuming that something like that should have been brought to the council first, and especially because of the liability. In addition, because it's part of the wastewater, and something like that would probably need to have additional permits. One, to be able to use it, and two, to be able to have heavy equipment changing the landscape of the land. And then in addition, was there, I just wanted to know, was there liability insurance offered in case something happened?
As a one-time exploratory or pilot program, there was a writing or like use it at your own risk. If there is any attempt to make this a permanent site to use it for any activities, we will be exploring all of the options as far as legal liability and bringing an item to council for review and approval at that moment.
So there was nothing written, just verbal agreement, and hoping that nothing will happen?
At this moment, the persons using the facility assume the risk and liabilities.
But it was just a verbal agreement?
There wasn't a written agreement. It was an exchange for them to use it and do this pilot program.
Okay, well, I'm just hoping that in the future, we could have city business done on writing and not, because, you know, in the court of law and liability issues, it would have, anything had to be on paper. That would be a little bit irresponsible on our part, from the city's part, if we do this for one and not for everyone. So, all right, that's it. Thank you.
And I can speak a little bit more on that. This is a group of residents working with the city, trying to explore an additional outlet for our youth. It is a pilot. It is something that we're trying to see if that's something that would work for them. And if so, then we already touched bases with legal. Legal's very well aware in regards to liability and all that. And if it does move forward, then there'll be parameters in place to protect the city and liability-wise. Then at that point, items will come to council. But it's just another opportunity that we were approached by residents, and a large group of residents are wanting to participate and come up with ideas to help our youth. So it's actually nice to see people wanting to get involved and work towards something. So, of course, I know Tom and Aaron are going to speak a little bit on that. I know you've been on it and aware and working towards finalizing that.
Yeah, if you get council concurrence, then we'll engage, we'll contact our risk management authority, all of those things that needs to be done as with any other activity.
So legal was involved in the conversation prior to this?
Yes, they were aware that there's a group intending, and then first of all, we have to find out kind of if it's even a possibility. So I think that's where we're at, see if it met the needs of the group, and from there, go through the correct channels so we could have an item brought to council for approval.
Was anybody else aware that in order to move or remove or move land around in the wastewater plant, there needed to be some kind of advice from the State Water Board?
I think that's something we're exploring. I don't think the whole landscape was changed, and it's not a pond that's being used right now. So I think that's what we're trying to figure out and trying to assess, see if it's even a possibility. But this is an item that's going further than what we need to be discussing. This is not on our agenda, so we need to move on.
Well, I was just wondering because this was a question to the city, to the city manager as part of her report. That's why I was asking.
All right,
to
we're
make the
gonna move
people
on
aware.
to Councilmember Maria Soto.
Not at this time. Thank you, Mayor.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia.
No, yeah, I just want to say that I was also involved in that. Me and the mayor, we met up with the citizens and brought that forward. So, I was also involved just for the information. Thank you.
Thank you, Pro Tem Garcia. I'm going to go ahead and move on to mayor announcements and reports. In regards to myself, once again, I just want to say I appreciate all the efforts made by the city, our city department, our city staff. I know that it's been hard with COVID. A lot of people have been sick, but you guys continue on, working and servicing our community as best you can. So we appreciate it. I'm looking forward to working with several groups, not only this group regarding this item we were just talking to previously, but there's other groups. Very excited to partake and get involved and come up with good ideas. So looking forward to working with other groups as well that have approached us and in regards to, for example, the skate park, partnering up with nonprofits and other groups. So I appreciate that. I know that there's 5 seats coming up for the Rec Commission. So I encourage those who are willing to continue serving to apply. Those who want to get involved, apply as well. I don't know, Jackie, if you know of any applications? All right, so we encourage the public to participate and to submit your applications. Looking forward, I don't know if you're going to say anything about the softball game, but it's coming up on April 8th. Looking forward to that. We'll be starting meetings in regards to the One Voice trip with MCAG as well. I know we have a lot of pending projects as our different departments stated. I know there's a delay in a lot of things due to material and staffing, but we're going to continue on making efforts to continue bringing positive impact to the city. So I appreciate everybody helping out and staying strong through this COVID situation. I'm going to go ahead and move on to our our consent agenda. Items on the consent calendar are considered routine or non-controversial and will be enacted by one vote unless separate actions requested by the city manager or city council member. There'll be no separate discussion of these items unless members of the city council or city manager request that specific items be removed. All right, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items. Waiving of reading ordinance and resolution, authorize remote to teleconference meetings, verify check warrants, authorize city manager to execute the program supplement agreement, and approve a contract with the CPS HR Consulting. Council? Any motions?
I'll motion to approve those.
Motion to approve the consent calendar by Councilwoman Maria Soto. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a second by Mayor Pro Tem Garcia. Do we get a roll call or voting? Monica?
Roll call. Councilmember Soto?
Yes.
Councilmember Moran?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia?
Yes.
Mayor Aguilar?
Yes.
Motion approved by a vote of 4-0.
All right, we're going to go on to a discussion of potential action items. Approve supplemental appropriation for centennial projects. This is a resolution to authorize the city manager, finance director to make budget adjustments for changes approved to make a supplemental appropriation for the unappropriated general fund balance.
Mayor, City Council members, members of the public, this is one of the items that our Recreation Department brought forward in one of our previous meetings, where we are right in the middle of the celebration of the centennial, the city's 100 years, and due to our budget constraints, we had reduced this budget during the budget process back in June of 2021. However, Jackie brought forward a request to council to request this budget appropriation for the recreation and the centennial, and to continue on with the centennial celebrations. Jackie has a presentation with summarizing some of the events that she plans on use these funds for. However, we were planning on doing a split of requesting some funds in this fiscal year and the rest of the funds in the following fiscal year. However, with the shortage in materials and everything, we just want to make sure that the Recreation Department has all the funds they need at this moment in order to place many of the orders that the department needs to place to be ready for the September activities. So Jackie was going to provide us just a high-level review of what some of those activities are, and you also have a supplemental sheet that will summarize the dollar amounts for each one of those activities as well.
Can't hear anything.
I'll just hold it, if that's better. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
So, and every day I'm getting people either calling or coming by that say they want to help. Matter of fact, I just got through meeting with 2 graphic artists that really want to take on some really neat things for the centennial. I'm so jazzed. So what's happening so far, again, the Chronicle, and I did touch bases with them last week, and we are still looking at the actual second quarter of 2022 to have all of our old newspapers digitized so that the community will have access. So if you want to find out about family members or great-grandparents or when buildings were torn down or built, this is going to be such a great resource for everybody. So both school districts have agreed to have Livingston history taught the week of our birthday. And so we are working, actually, I have a meeting with the high school tomorrow and on Friday with the elementary school district to continue working on this project. I have never, ever heard of a school district teaching their city history. And it is just such an exciting thing for me. Kids are going to be able to drive past a park and know who the person was that park was named after, or streets, and it's just really a neat thing for our community. So we are in the process of having banners made for downtown with a lot of old buildings that no longer exist that were important to the community. And so those we're hoping to have up by the 1st of April. Actually, everything is going to pretty much start with the kickoff of a game that we're going to have. So we're also developing a mobile exhibit for the schools. They'll be setting it up at the Livingston Community Center, and all the kids will take a field trip over there, as well as the high school. And then in the evenings, the parents, it'll be open several days, so if kids want to bring their parents back and show them everything that they had got to see, they're welcome to do it, and it'll be at no charge. So the UC Merced, who we've partnered with for our centennial, they came out and they set up in the park across the street, and we had about 35 families that have been long time Livingston residents and have many generations here tell their story, and we will be using that during the centennial. We had our first annual pet parade. This next one's going to be bigger and better and during the day so that we can see the little critters. And anyway, it went really well, and we look forward to it again. We're going to, the high school is actually building us a photo spot so that people can come and get their picture in front of it with the museum in the background. We're working with Merced County GIS. We'll be doing an interactive map that will be on our website that you can, put in City Hall, and it'll bring up what used to be at City Hall. Or you can do it the opposite. You can put a picture of maybe the Kroll building and realize the freeway's going through right there. So it'll be a lot of fun information for those that have been here to see all the change, and those kids that have not, or the families that have not been a part of the change. So we are having a seal made for a 100-year celebration to put on the front of the museum. And we are going to be commissioning 2 larger-than-lives of our founders and one other. We're having our special centennial homecoming reunion at our Sweet Potato Festival. And you guys, as a matter of fact, our rec commissioners will be hearing more about that, as well as when I have some more information on the Sweet Potato Festival, I'll be bringing it to you also. We are going to be crowning a king and queen, whoever our oldest resident, longtime residents of Livingston will be, to be our centennial king and queen to participate in the high school homecoming for football. We also have the ability to do a radio show, and I am working with some kids from the high school that would take on this, and for a particular time frame, we would have on a certain AM channel, which will let you know what it's going to be, either maybe some old stories. We've got lots of videos and tapes of some of our older residents, some that are still with us, some that are not, talking about the city. So we're just going to hopefully be creative and maybe do some old-time radio classics on it, maybe some 40s music, just something probably start about the summer for the residents to enjoy. 100 hours of service in 2022. We are going to provide opportunities for our community to give back to Livingston. And so we are encouraging families, students, just community members to volunteer to put 100 hours back into the city. And so actually Hilda is our volunteer coordinator for this program. So we are going to begin putting it out there. And so she will be somebody that you're talking to about if you want to work, a whole Saturday or whatever and bring different projects. And in fact, do we still have Camp Pacifica? No, okay. Because I was thinking they always needed workers and that'd be a fun family place to go volunteer. We are planning on helping the Historical Society. We need people to carry the torch to keep that museum up and running. And so we're looking for people that are interested in Livingston history and have a love for it and that would help us, keep the museum going. We will be having t-shirts for the centennial that people can buy a sponsorship on the back. We'll be getting that information out. So even a lot of the money that we are asking you guys for, hopefully we'll be able to recoup money back so that we can, not have such an impact. We are gonna have souvenirs such as coins, banks, refrigerator magnets, calendars. You can just see all the different things that we were thinking of with our Centennial logo on it that people could purchase at our different events or at the museum or at City Hall. So the folks that I met with tonight, they are going to have a room over at the museum to commemorate the 100 years, like a timeline all the way around the room. And that way too, it will kind of follow our curriculum a little bit that we're doing at the school, so everything just keeps reinforcing the things that the kids are learning. We are going to be playing Atwater. It's a regular game that the high school baseball team plays. It's called A Game for Joe Alvarez, who actually was instrumental in making baseball what it is here in town. And so it's going to be a great day there. The family comes out. We're going to do like in between inning games with the people in the stands. It's really going to be a lot of fun. Of course, Court of Trees, our goal for this year, we had, I think, close to 50 last year. And so this year we hope to have 100 for our 100 years. Then, of course, our Centennial Christmas Parade, we're hoping to have 100 entries. We had 40 last year, so hopefully we can really start getting people involved and to think about our Christmas parade. One of the neat things, and it's also on my bucket list to do, is that we're going to have a combined concert with the LMS and LHS bands for Christmas, and we'll have a 300-voice Centennial Children's Choir that it's just going to be amazing. The kids are going to love it. They'll never forget it. And last but not least, Mayor, we have it staffed. We have a surprise MC for the evening that has the best radio voice ever, and he will be calling our game, as well as our dear friend Chris Rivera is going to be umpiring. So you guys start, polishing up your mitts, and we're going to be playing the game at Alvarez, not at Little Guys, because we're doing it immediately following our baseball opening ceremony, so that you guys will have an automatic crowd of 300 or 400 people. So
Perfect.
It should be a lot of fun. We are going to have a snack bar open, because if they come at 5:30 and then they're there until 9 o'clock, somebody may want hot dogs or something. So we'll be ready. So this was a list in your supplemental. The only thing that I did not put in here with a picture, and I had not put it on the last one, was we were looking at a small fireworks display on our birthday. We just thought for 100 years, you know how important fireworks are during 4th of July to us. So we were hoping that if we just got a $10,000 show rather than the 50 or 40 that goes on the rest of the time, that it would just be something, maybe the band could be playing. We don't have all the details, but, and that, there we have it. Any questions or comments or?
Awesome. Thank you so much. It looks very exciting. I know it took a lot of work to organize this, and it's going to take a lot of work to execute all those activities. So thank you to your department and encouraging the public and the community to participate and not only participate and volunteer and making these events possible, but also participate when the events come out and everybody go out there as safely as possible and participate. Are you having regular, any meetings coming up for the Centennial Committee?
You know what? It'll probably be, I wound up with COVID too, so I'm back again. I feel like anyway, we're going to have one soon because we do have a lot of groundwork to follow up with.
Awesome.
But I'll let you know. And it may even be a video where I make the announcement on the video. Like the older folks really liked that.
Cool.
And they didn't have to come out for it, so I may do something like that too.
Perfect.
So.
Council, any questions?
Yeah, I just wanted to know how soon, you just said that you're going to have a meeting soon, but using this as a guide to where we can continue to ask for sponsorship from our community, I just want to know how many of the committee has pledged to say, hey, I'm going to help you raise this much and this much so that we can cover some of those costs right off the bat.
I haven't asked any of our committee members yet. I have had one of the committee members they own a large company, ask about sponsorship packages. So we do plan on getting that together. And I'm hoping, it's been really neat. I've had a few things that I've needed stuff done and I've been able to just call people that I know that don't normally give and where do I send the check? So hopefully if we keep getting that enthusiasm, we'll be well on our way. But like I said, once we sell to some of the shirts and all the little goodies and whatever not, we will be getting some of that money back to the city, for covering those costs, so.
Any other questions, Council?
Actually, you just kind of partially answered one of my questions. But before that, I also wanted to ask in regards to some of the jerseys and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Are those are going to be available to the public other than the 15 that they're like the baseball jerseys?
Those are not going to be available because those are just their game playing jersey.
Okay.
And they run about $45.
Yeah.
But the regular T-shirts will be available. And then something, which I didn't even put in on this, but all of our kids' sports this year, we're incorporating the Centennial logo on their jersey for this year so that they would have it as a keepsake.
Okay. And so the additional funds, are they going to be saved for the recreation department for future programs and stuff like that? If whatever it's fundraised from some of those items?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think it'll probably just go back into the general fund.
Okay.
And because I think that it'll just go back into the general fund.
So,
But it will help cover costs.
yeah. So like right now, this is like 40,000, and then if by any chance there's more than 40,000, everything will go back into the general fund?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Well, and by the way, I mean, that's amazing. I mean, just to be able to get everything done, which is great. I mean, we only celebrate 100 years once, one time. So I don't think I'm going to be here for the next time we celebrate another 100 years. So this is great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Going to take it out for public comment on this item. Any public comment?
Hey, Mayor, this is Mayor Pro Tem.
Hey, go ahead. Mayor Pro Tem Garcia.
Thank you. I just want to tell Jackie, thank you for all your hard and dedication on this project. I know it's a lot of work, but I just want to say thank you.
You're welcome. It's part of my passion, so it's really not like, well, I shouldn't say that, but it's fun to do it.
Any public comment? Anybody on the phone? All right, we'll bring it back to council for motions, further questions, comments.
I motion to approve.
Motion.
Oh, there's somebody else on the line? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying I'll make the motion.
Okay, so a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Garcia. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Councilmember Moran. Could we get a
Roll call. Councilmember Soto?
Yes.
Councilmember Moran?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia?
Yes.
Mayor Aguilar?
Yes.
Motion approved by a vote of 4-0.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and move on to City Council direction on future agenda items. Just real quick with that, an announcement, we do have a workshop next week on the 7th, if that's correct.
On the 9th.
Sorry, 9th. And that's gonna be at 6, correct?
Correct. Correct.
Okay, the 9th, Wednesday the 9th at 6. Any future items, council?
Just a quick question for that, for the workshop. Is that going to be streamed for the residents?
Our plan is to record the workshop.
To record and then, but not live, or to do it live and record it?
So far, we're going to record it. No, not stream it, just like the planning commission meeting.
So, so that means only the audio, or both?
The video.
Video, okay, thank you.
Any other, Mayor Tim Garcia, any items, future items for the agenda?
Negative. Negative. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So at this time, I'm gonna go ahead and adjourn our meeting at 8:07 PM. Thank you.